name is Neil Beck, and you Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So we're going to be doing a deep dive into Christopher Eccleston and his thoughts on Doctor Who. We're going through his recent interview with Doctor Who magazine, and I will say I'm going to be reading excerpts from it. If you want to read it in full, I would recommend going and buy the magazine. It's actually a little bit better this month than normal. I'm trying to make it as devoid as of the current era as possible. There is kind of like, it does obnoxiously creep in here and there. Listen, if somebody likes the current era, God bless you, love you, nothing against you. It's really weird. They think, because I don't like it, I don't think they're real fans. No, you can absolutely be a real fan, and and like the current era, just a lot of them aren't. There's a lot of them really aren't. Anyway, going to be doing a deep dive in this. There's a lot of what we call in the Jewish world Baba Meisters going on. I'm going to be addressing more in another video about Eccleston endorsing the current era. No, he did. But this is a really interesting interview. It goes into who he is, and I think it like explains him, pretty well, and his approach to the role, which I'm just excited about. Okay, I am giddy and excited from returning. I fell in love with him in 2005. And I was kind of gutted. I loved the character art he gave. He gave the Doctor, and I was just gutted. It was only 1 year, and also it was less than a year, because right from his second episode we knew he was leaving. Right, he was always a dead man walking. So anyway, I'm really excited to be seeing more of him. We disagree about a lot of things, but I have a lot of respect for him. Anyway, so we're going to go through the article. Before we do that, can you hit the like button? Freaking awesome! Thank you very much. By the way, people have, guy in the comments said, can you not shout? I just get excited. What do you want me to? This is all genuine, right? This is the way that I really love Doctor Who, right? I really genuinely do. I'm really excited. So yeah, hit the like button. Thank you very much. And that's of course if you don't like it as well, hit the like button and share button. That's great. Subscribe button. The subscribe button is fan dabby double dozy. I just again poked my head over 2,900 subscribers, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. I got to get about 10, 15 over that before it sticks. So yeah, if you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed, and if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be Fan Dabby Double Dozy. Another thing, of course, Fan Dabby Double Dozy is go and check out my Indiegogo. It's in the video notes. 10 more days. A lot of the sales have ended. I'm afraid they've all been used up. Right now, I was supposed to bring this up to $45 for both graphic. They're 2 graphic novels, by the way. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, 2 graphic novels. I was supposed to bring it up to $45. I made it 42 because I'm a big softie. So the next 42 people get it at $42 rather than $45. And then you get a whole bunch of extras. If you just want the extras, much so, even though I really didn't want to do this, I made a package. You can just get the extras for $10. That's for about £7. The extras include for the male gaze, a series of 6. There'll probably be more. I'm probably adding another one this week. Series of 6 fantastic cards. Oh, one second, you're not showing the whole thing. There you go. You got to have the titles in. Series of 6 fantastic art cards. These are postcard size, representing my masturbatory fantasies from the age of 12. From the age I was able to, but I was going to say from when I was 12. No, still works today. Don't whack off, kids. It's not good for you. You'll go blind. So you got started at 4, went up to 6. I think we're going to add another this week. We had the James Bond one, Keep the British End Up. We have Space 99. It's Party Like It's 1999. We have a bit of Judge Anderson action. Don't even think it says it, but we do. My personal favourite, No Hanky Panky in the TARDIS. We have I'm Sensing Strong Emotions, Captain, and the latest one, which is really good, which is really great. The Force is female, and boy, is a Force so incredibly female. Then you also get when we hit 8 grand, which I think we're going to, everyone's going to get this poster thrown in. With that's dollars, not pounds. Everyone's going to get this poster thrown in. If you get the package where you get the extras, you get this poster as well. Then you can add on The Eyes Have It, or a reversal polarity of the new. No, this was called reversal polarity of Neutron Flow, but I couldn't fit it into the title bar, so now it's Great Balls of Fire. Great Balls of Fire, indeed. So yeah, go check out my Nico. That'd be really, really nice. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. So let's have a look at this interview, shall we? Over here. Now, once again, if this does interest you, I would really recommend going and buy a digital copy or digital version of it. This month's been better than a lot. Well, again, I mean, for me, I find it much easier when they're not talking about the current era, because I really, really can't stand the current era. I think it's antithetical. I just got the word. Antithetical? Is that the right word? To Doctor Who. It's the opposite of what Doctor. Again, that's my opinion. If you like it, God bless you. Anyway, but I feel this era of Doctor Who was very, very different. The Chibnall era was a real, not the Chibnall, the Eccleston. His name's Chris. That's why I got excited. The Eccleston era was a really unique one in that it was very anti Doctor Who, but I still feel it. Even though it turned a lot of the Doctor Who tropes on its head and did everything in reverse, it still, for me, remained resolutely Doctor Who, whereas I feel the current era, which is trying to be so Doctor Who, is just, I think, failing horribly. So let's have a look at this interview. Chris Eccleston has finally come back to Doctor Who in his first interview since 2004. Blimey. That's a long time, right? That is a long time. First interview since 2004. He tells Graham Cribble White, who's actually a pretty good interviewer, about the traps and triumphs wrapped up in the role. Okay, there we go. So I've highlighted the bits we're going to look at. There's a bit in Rose in 2005 where Billy Piper's title character first stumbles into the interior of the TARDIS and tries to simulate the impossibility of a freaking awesome scene. Yeah, I mean, first out, just absolutely awesome scene. I love the authenticity of it, which I think is where Eccleston and Russell T Davies really, really converge. They're both very, very authentic, entertainers, right? They're very naturalist, very authentic. And that scene where, if you haven't seen it, you really should see it. But that scene, Rose comes to the TARDIS, she looks around, it's bigger on the inside. And she starts to cry, right? And it's just it's what people would do, and I really appreciate that. So then she goes, the inside's bigger than the outside, she says, seeking clarification. Yes, says Eccleston's Doctor. It's alien, she continues. Yep, says Doctor. You're an alien. Yes. Yeah, and then she starts to cry, because I know she's not scared of him. It's just she's overcome with heads exploding, yeah? And it's just a really great moment of that made me really like this character, right? Made me believe the character. Yeah, and again, I keep talking about the current era. One of the things, it's not just current era of Doctor Who, it's the current era of entertainment in general. If somebody is of what they call protected class, which is the disgusting thing I can think of, we have protected classes. They can't have anything negative about the character, any detriment about the character, which means the character has no place to grow. When I was in, I'm a rabbi, I'm a real rabbi. When I was in rabbinical seminary, there's essentially two schools of thought about studying about the great figures in the Bible. There's Abraham, Isaac, and the one school of thought is you've got to always treat them as if they were permanently saints and perfect. And the other, which is one I can't really get behind because I don't think human beings are like that. And the other school of thought is they lived a life as a progression, and so they if they ended up here, they had to start down there. So, but anyway, having a lack, which again, Billy Piper bursting into tears here. It's a real humanity, and also Mickey. Mickey. There's a lot of dodgy things about Mickey. We all love Mickey and Jackie Tyler too. By having characters that are perfect from the outset. The only character art you can give them is waiting till the rest of the world realizes they're perfect too, which is kind of a boring character art. Which again, I think that's kind of the character art they give in Yaz, and they haven't really given the Doctor in the current era, but they certainly, they have given it to Yaz. Talking to Chris Eccleston, 16 years on from his debut in The Ninth Doctor, there are moments where he gives exactly those affirmations in that way. So that I find really, really interesting, and I think he was cast for this reason, right? That he I think that there's a lot of himself in the portrayal, and I think I'm looking at the action figures of the Doctors above my camera, right on the desk, above my desk, and yeah, they've all put a lot themselves into the role. It's William Hartnell certainly he loved the role. Patrick Troughton because he reinvented the role. John Pertwee, Tom Baker. Listen, Tom Baker is always Tom Baker is always nearly the Doctor. Like it doesn't when he's being Tom Baker when he's in Sainsbury's, he's still nearly the Doctor. Peter Davison, Colin Baker. Colin Baker, I think, was the most actory job, right? Because he had some pretty bad scripts that he was overcoming. Sylvester McCoy, all that physicality, right? I think that was very much him. All that physical. It was a very physical performance. Paul McGann, again, but yeah, excellent. He's a very stark, to the point person, right? And I think that's part of his core personality. I think that's why his Doctor is the way the Doctor is. I mean, there's story reasons as well. So he goes on and says, yeah, I don't like irony. I wish I could do his voice. I don't like irony. I didn't go to Oxbridge. The Doctor is about full, heartfelt gut reaction to life, right? And I love that. That's the way he's approaching the role. And again, because he's approaching it very differently than we've seen the Doctor played throughout. Like the Doctor's always, I think, to work best, has to be kind of like some kind of riff on an English gentleman, right? Which basically they all were. David Tennant kind of snaps back to posh. Right after you get the shameless Doctor, which is basically what I feel it's like. But he's a very, very, very raw, honest actor, because I think he's a very, very raw, honest person. So then they talk a bit about the challenges of working in lockdown. One of the challenges for us in recording in lockdown is that we actors don't meet. So yeah, this is really, again, you get a sense of his work ethic here, which is really strong. But this is how he goes about his craft. And he takes his craft, which is kind of fun. I can get being an actor can be a fun job, right? He takes his craft very seriously, and part of that work is as finding the performance by interacting with other people. And I think, this innate respect he has for other human beings, I think that's something else that's very, very doctorish and really, really comes out in his performance, right? And again, I'm lauding him with praise. I have fundamental disagreements with him about life, but yeah, damn, I just love his sincerity. It's sincerity, right? I think that's the thing that really, really comes out about his Doctor, which is one thing I'm just looking forward to. I was looking forward to it much more after reading this article. So far, nonetheless, the stories Chris have worked on so far, it wasn't about the Big Finish ones. Yeah, he says this interview was predicated on him not wanting to talk about his TV time as a Doctor. And yeah, man, listen, the big softy in me, and there's a lot of me that's a big softy, which I just really would love Russell T Davies and Christopher Eccleston to be able to reconcile. I get the feeling Christopher Eccleston was unbelievably hurt, right? Just unbelievably hurt, and I've tried to stay away from the reasons for that, but I would love them to be able to reconcile and work together and do another Doctor Who, do more Big Finish stuff. And just because I like people to get on, right? I do. I'm much happier that way. So they're talking about the Big Finish was coming out. So far, stayed away from the darker elements of the Ninth Doctor. And he said everybody feels it's dark enough with this with the pandemic. I'm really enjoying the lightness of the Doctor's applying. So I think this is going to carve out a whole new world of the Ninth Doctor. When we saw him in Rose, the strong implication was he just regenerated. He just look at those ears, right? The strong implication was he just regenerated, and there's his arc he gave for the season, which again well, a great acting job. The arc he gave the season was that of him coming to terms with being the Doctor and being happy about being the Doctor again. Yeah, and I think, yeah, but towards the end of the season, there was a comfortability with himself. And that's the Doctor I really want to hit, the Doctory Doctor, right? So it sounds like they're doing that. It sounds like that's exactly what they're doing with the Big Finish thing, but they're sending it before Rose. So, like, there's got to be some kind of, like, reset that happens that sends him back to that post-traumatic stress, or that survivor guilt that he's laden with before Rose. I think if they do a prequel to Rose, like what happens before and what put him in that state, when he met her and what put him in the state where he was able to connect with Rose. And again, I love that. I love that how they you have these two people that needed each other. You had the Doctor and the Rose, and they just so needed each other, right? And it really, really, really worked. But again, so it sounds like we're getting, like, you know, a performance towards the end of the season, even though it's set before Rose. Which, okay, fine. So yeah, he talks about he says, I think probably I'm slightly known for heaviness. My Doctor carried the guilt of the survivor, and I think that was very, you know, integral to the way that he played the role. Where's the second? Oh no, we're still on the same page. I'm trying to work out where I was on the page. Let's go to this next bit. There we go. So we've got quite a bit to read on this one. Again, I really want to be clear. It's always better to read it in context. I would really recommend buying this issue. I don't want to, they put money and time into presenting this. I don't want to be the one ripping off. I really, just in my own head, I want to feel this is more like a advertising tool rather than rip off for Doctor Who magazine. Even though, you know, I think they've made their bed, and I think it's only fair that they lie in it. At the moment, the Doctor is free of angst and is questing and enthusiastic and comedic and loving. So again, yeah, so that's what seems like this is a Doctor towards the end of the first season. But who knows who knows if further down the line we want to go down a darker tone. That's a possibility. So so he's clearly talking about doing this. He's recorded the 4 box set, so he's clearly talking about doing more, which is great news. It is great news. Like, again, so excited to hear. And I'm so excited that Nick Briggs is writing it and like crafting the whole thing. The Doctor gets excited by his adventures and stimulated rather than scared. He wants to work out what the aliens are and where they come from. Yeah, you know, again, I like that lack of fear in his Doctor, where he was just like, fantastic, let's see what it is. I've always believed that people who watch the show know who I am and what it meant to me and what I gave to it. Yeah, I think that, again, his connection with other people, which is what I think he really shares with Russell T Davies. Because, again, you look at Russell T Davies' work, it's all about family connection between people, which is why I really love his work. I really do. But I think that's where they really connected. And I think he feels bad that he abandoned us to a certain extent. But I think it's what he said. I've always believed people watch the show know who I am and what it meant to me and what I gave it. Yeah, I never felt like it was this was a throwaway, a meaningless experience for him. I do feel that it was painful for him to leave. When he signed on, he intended to do it longer. I think he got massively hurt. I really don't know why, right? And it's not really my business, quite frankly. I think he probably talked about it in his book, which I haven't read, but I really think he was mortified. So he goes on to say, it's nice to play a hero. It's nice to play somebody who has all the answers. It's nice to play an enthusiast. And it's nice to play somebody who's front foot and confident and warm. And it's a gift to play, as every actor who's ever had the role will tell you. It's a gift to Whittaker, that's for sure. This is a hero who doesn't take himself too seriously and filled with love. It's a joyous thing to do. Yeah, listen, he's basically explaining why this is a great role. At the same time, what comes out from this interview is that he's not a fan of Doctor Who, in that he sees nothing about it as being sacred, which I think is actually probably a good idea in creating a good performance, right? But that being said, you know, I've seen the Twitterati get all mad that he's saying things that Jodie Whittaker, if Jodie Whittaker said, will be like raking her over the coals, and that's because Christopher Eccleston, I think for more than not, has some good, has a good feeling, you know. He's built up some credibility, right? He's delivered, and he's shown this role actually did mean something to him. But I think every role means something to him, because I think acting means something. I think it's something very, very important to him. So I think, yeah, he's happy to play this role. It's a fun role, but really his thing that he holds that has sacred cows is acting itself, and this is a subset of that. He's very straight, isn't he, the Doctor? He does not go in for manipulation. You see, I don't think he's seen much of Sylvester McCoy. Okay, that's my idea. He does exactly what he says on Tim, or his Doctor does. We've seen other Doctors been manipulative. Again, Sylvester McCoy's Doctor, mostly. Colin Baker to a certain extent. Tom Baker. Patrick Troughton, certainly, absolutely. So Patrick Troughton essentially took the Kylie and the expedition, the archaeologist expedition, into opening the Tomb of the Cybermen. Right? He was watch that again, and he was totally manipulating them to do that right from the beginning. Listen again. He views acting, the craft of acting, which he's taken on, and it's very, very personal to him, as the thing that is sacred, not the character of the Doctor, right? Which I think we see coming through quite a lot. Your Doctor is, and I think most intelligent. I think the most intelligent of human beings, or apes as he often refers to them, always respond well to that, particularly females. He's leaning towards the feminine. He has a leaning towards the feminine, does the Doctor, which is illustrated in his companions down the years. Well, that's an interesting take. I think there is a real femininity about the character. I think just going off the current era, which I was totally on board for. It seems that it was. It seems to me now that with this they've had a really good swing at the bat at doing a female Doctor, and it just didn't work. Now, did it not work because they miscast Whittaker and Chibnall was a bad writer? Sure. Does that mean it can't work? I think it can. I still think it can work. Honestly, I do think it can work. But to make it work, you've got to make the female's performance very masculine. Just in the Doctor's performance is often, again, very intuitive, quite feminine. The only way to make it work is having somebody play against themselves, which I think they can do. I just don't think. I think you need somebody with a lot of intelligence behind and in front of the camera, which we don't really see nowadays. But I can't disagree with this. He's leaned on it, which is illustrated in the Companions down the years. Their emotional intelligence. He's a sucker for emotional intelligence. Again, his Doctor absolutely is, right. And forgiveness and humanity and humans. And I think that's demonstrated within a lot of the relationships throughout the wonderful adventures we're recording at the moment. Oh, I can't wait! You keep getting me excited, Chris. You keep getting me excited. So then we talk about how this came about. This was at a Doctor Who convention. Jason Haig Ellery approached him. This would have been, is it Gallifrey 1? Was that the convention? He talks about this briefly. I've been asked on a few occasions, but it wasn't the right time because of various things about where I was in my personal and professional life. So again, I do get the feeling that he was blackballed from British television, which made him have to run to Hollywood and do all those movies, which he clearly hated. G.I. Joe and Thor. He looked so miserable, poor guy. But again, he said, look, I'm an actor. I graft. I have to work. You know, he has a work ethic, and because that's who he is. And so he went to where the work is. I think whatever went down, the scarring was just immensely compounded. All right, Rusty Davis and everybody else came in, their careers soared, and they had incredible success. So we talked about that convention, and they contacted his voiceover agent, and he looked at the scripts and was really encouraged by the quality of them, and here we are. So I think that's actually a big factor. I don't think he would do something that he thinks is crap, okay? I don't think he would do something that he thinks is a waste of time. So now here's an interesting thing. I think that we talk about his motivations for coming back to the role. What convinces a bricklayer to build a wall? What convinces the plumber to plumb? What convinces you to do your job? First of all, I mean, it's not a fashionable thing to say because we're all English and we don't talk about these things, but I'm an actor, and the way I pay my mortgage and support my children is by acting, so it's paid work. It's what I do my job for. Now, is he saying, I just want the money? I just want the... No. But the money's a factor. Absolutely, it's a factor, and I think it's a very reasonable factor. You know, again, I don't think many of us are running to do things without some kind of reward, be it financial or otherwise. But by the way, go check out my Indiegogo, financial or otherwise. So, yeah, and I think for him working is just so incredibly important. Right, he's a worker. Right, he's a real worker, and so he wants to work. Right, so I think this is acting work. This is like, so well, of course I'm going to do a job. That's what he paying me to. But it's I think he had to be in the right place in his life and professionally as well to be able to do it. So I think professionally. Maybe the acting jobs are drying up right now. There's certainly live things are because the pandemic, so that certainly helped. But I do think going to conventions. I mean, somebody told me in one of the comments he charged £100 for an autograph, which seems a bit outrageous. That sounds like a cash grab. That sounds outrageous. I mean, geez, you'd be able to spend a couple of minutes with him and get a picture for $100, but £100, not even $100. So it's about $130. That seems a lot. I mean. I can't think of many people I would spend that money on an autograph for. It's what I do for my job for. Secondly, as I've always said, I have a great love for the character. I've always said that, which is true. He has always said that. I think that's 100% correct. So then he's asked about things have always been swirling. Every actor, the question swirls around: are they going to be doing Big Finish? Right. So this must be something that's been going on for a while. And so he is. Well, I don't really listen to the swirl, to be honest. I'm not somebody engaged in all that. I totally believe him. I think in everything. I think he's being incredibly honest. To be honest, I'm not somebody. I'm not saying engaged in all that, but I do quite a lot for radio. I do audiobooks. I get creative. I would love to hear him read some audiobook. Would you love him to hear Brave New World? But I was actually thinking of Fahrenheit 451. I would love to hear Christopher Eccleston Fahrenheit 451. I got to find out what stuff he's done. Right? I like his performance. I like the just the sheer honesty in his performance, and how he has everything that's unnecessary pared away. It's very basic, and it's very basic and primal. So I do orders, and I get creative satisfaction there. And with this, I felt I could do something with the character. I played in a visual format. I felt there was something I could explore technically in a vocal sense. So yeah, he's at the fortunate part in his life that he's able to not take every job that's offered to him, but it's got to have a job that's been that has some kind of like a creative return for him. No, my approach is learn your. Was it? So he says, well, I was talking about how he marks up the script. He's not the kind of actor to do this. So again, I just love this because again, you see it in his performance all the way through. No, my approach is learn your lines, don't bump into the furniture, and don't be late, and have manners. I'm like, yes. Yes, that's the way. That's the advice you should do. Do your job, do it competently, and be nice. I said a great deal stored by the very first refill of anything. I think instinct is all in acting. Because people don't think through their reactions in life. People react instinctively. So to get an authentic performance, being instinctive is really, really, really helpful. In acting, it's not an academic pursuit. You can over prepare. Yeah. You can also under prepare. So what I will do with these scripts is I'll read them as many times as I feel I need to, and then I'll turn up and find my performance in the other actors, which is why I think it's difficult for him not to be interacting with the other actors, because that's where the performance comes from. And that's something that's very important to me on film, television, television, and theatre. What you're going to do is all about the communication between the actors. Yeah, okay, I hear that. Obviously, in lockdown, there are constraints on that. You have to make a positive of it. Today, unusually, we have another actor in the studio. Usually, it's just myself and the magnificent Wilfredo, his technical engineer that's in the studio with him. So I guess they couldn't talk him into building a home studio. They had to rent a studio out for him. So look, they've invested money into this, to be sure. I just wish, like, could they not do a photo shoot? Just Chris, lose the beard. I think we're okay with the hair. But if you just lost the beard, put the leather jacket on, that would really go a long way. That would really go a long way. I'm saying Wilfredo and everybody else is dialing in, including the directors. We have to kind of connect that way, because I do think acting is primarily about listening and reacting and not imposing and not acting in a vacuum. You know, I did a video yesterday, right, about I'm doing this series called The 48 Ways to Wisdom. It's 48 ways that you can acquire greatness, and they really are good. So we're doing a way a day. What I spoke about yesterday was humility. Now, humility means a lot of people think that you have to, like, not have a high opinion of yourself. Say, oh, I'm so nothing. I'm just dust in the wind. Nothing. No, humility gives you real charisma, because humility is when you're connected to the truth of things. You know, just connected to truth, which I think Eccleston is. So I think when you're connected to truth, you see your place in the universe, and you see you're not the center of it, right? And that's not a bad thing. You're connected to something much better than yourself, and that's part of you. And I really think that humility is really coming through in his acting, which is why I think that he's talking about not imposing. And he needs to interact with the other people, because again, he's not full of himself. He's full of his job. The job is everything to him. So here we get an important tidbit, right? An important tidbit. He is eternally in the moment. Time travel is it's the factor. One of the biggest stories we're recording at the moment. The Brigadier, played by John Colshaw. If you haven't heard John Colshaw play the Brigadier, he's fantastic. There was a mediocre Sylvester McCoy story where he played like the battlefield age Brigadier, and there was a slightly different gravelness in his voice, really well. Whereas in the third Doctor sets, he's played the 1970s Brigadier, and he's just absolutely perfect. Well, we get a little tidbit about what the Brig and the Ninth Doctor get up to, where where the Brig is in his life. So he's saying that the Brigadier is always in the moment. Was it? You remember you came to my? So the Brigadier says you remember you came to my retirement party when we ended up on Gallifrey, referencing the Five Doctors. So this after that in the Brigadier. So it's an old Brigadier. It's not a. It's at least modern undead Brigadier. I think it's probably older than that. I think it's probably battlefield age a Brigadier. And he goes, no, I don't. He's always moving forward. Yeah, he again, this is something that you really do see about Eccleston's Doctor. I think more so than most. Maybe Smith's as well, Matt Smith, that they very much live in the moment, right? Which is a great thing to do. I think he feeds into this protein element of him, if that's the right word. He can become Peter Wilder, he can become Jodie Whittaker. I wish he could, okay? Again, it's clear he hasn't seen Jodie Whittaker. But like, could you imagine watching him? Like, again, it's not a love of Doctor Who that he's going to see Jodie Whittaker besmirched. It's a love of acting. It's going to be like, what is she doing? He can become John Pertwee. He's got to be instinctive and fresh, particularly when there are so many episodes where essentially the Doctor is doing the same thing. You've got to find a freshness in the moment and in your approach. And then he references Tom Baker. Tom Baker says it's it's not an acting role. It's in that a character doesn't develop. And he goes, yeah, I think that's a huge bit of wisdom from Tom. And then he talks about how when he first got the role, how Tom Baker went, Chris Reckon, who's he? And it's like he liked that. Again, he seems like a real genuinely humble person. And again, by not, but you can see his incredible strength and charisma through that humility, which is this is stuff that I like, right? I like seeing people being personally elevated, right? I do enjoy that. I lean on the writers, which I lean on the writers, which is what I've done through my career, which is I'm so psyched about, like that. It means it's really going to be reflecting Nick Briggs's vision, right? And again, Nick Briggs, another guy. I disagree with him about everything on life apart from spaceships made in 1970s out of cardboard, right? I disagree. We disagree on religion, everything. But he can write a damn good script, and I really like his integrity. I love his integrity. So this has just made me more excited for this. So it's all the right for me. So I lean on that. I honor the writers. I protect them. Yeah. Again, you see his respect for people, right? His respect for people, and I think that might give you an insight to why he was so hurt by Russell T Davies. He feels, if you put yourself out for someone, if you extend yourself for someone, if you protect them, you honor them, and you don't feel it reciprocated, that's just a recipe to generate hatred. It really is just hurt and hatred. I'm an average actor made to look good by writers like Jimmy McGovern, Peter Balker, Peter Flannery. What is it that Alan Rickman said? Actors don't win awards. Good parts win awards, and the good parts are created by writers because of the cult of celebrity and all that. We've imported the idea that actors as demigods from America. Yes, I agree. Who cares? Who cares what Meryl Streep has to say? I mean, the fact that Meryl Streep is a massive hypocrite, wagging a finger at the rest of the world for not voting the way she wanted to, while at the same time being incredibly complicit in the Harvey Weinstein Me Too. You're telling me she didn't know about it? She knew. I knew, right? I knew about it. We all knew about the casting couch, and so I don't think they have the position, the freedom to. What's the word I'm looking for? To moralize to the rest of the world. I just do not feel they have that whatsoever. But they do it anyway. So it means they get elevated over writers, and that's not my way. The writer is the most important thing on the project. Chris, Chris. As a speaker, as a writer, I tend to agree with you. Without a writer, none of us go to work. You and I wouldn't be talking. So he talks very nicely about Big Finish for a bit. He says their process is impeccable, the quality of writing, the way they make the dramas, even under lockdown. It's fresh, it's honest, it's irreverent, it's professional. I think he's right. But I think the most important thing to Chris is that is honest. It's real. It's an honesty to the role. Writing like a Doctor Who adventure is a huge challenge. Okay, he's basically just saying writing Doctor Who is pretty hard. Okay, I kind of just switched this. So then he goes on to an interesting about how science fiction can be a Trojan horse for difficult issues, which is something, again, I really think the modern era of Doctor Who is really, really strongly trying to do, and I think they're really strongly failing at it. I think that's really my bottom line. It's because, I was having this conversation with somebody in the comments on one of my videos the other day, that said that they took a contrary position to me. Saying, look, Doctor Who's always been political. What's your problem? I'm like, Doctor Who has never been... Doctor Who has never been alienating before, which is what I feel it is now, right? Doctor Who has never been alienating to essentially half the country, because idiots have moralize their political differences, right? And so now, if you think that if one person thinks you should have open borders, and somebody else thinks we should have like controlled immigration of some kind, the person who believes in open borders will think the person who believes in controlled immigration is a racist, is evil, right? Because they're stupid. They're stupid people doing stupid things. I agree with you. I think science fiction is a great forum to be able to talk about difficult issues. Look at the original Star Trek. Let This Be Our Last Battlefield, when you had was it Frank Gorshin? There was white on one side, black on the other, and the other guy black on one side and white on the other. And yeah, when you're taken out of it, seeing the ridiculousness of not liking somebody else because of skin color, right? It's just so freaking insane. But that's when it's done right. So that's not to say that every was it allegory that the current era, every allegory that's done works. This one doesn't. Again, this is my opinion only. You're somebody who likes it. That's great for you. Jim McGovern, for instance, used the ITV crime drama Cracker as a Trojan horse to talk about his very strong feelings about the incredible injustice of Hillsborough. I had no idea about that. It's so interesting. Of course, Doctor Who for me is very appealing because you can smuggle in issues and present it to children and plant the seed early. Yeah, all these things are good, but they're planting the wrong seeds. They're planting seeds that are inherently destructive. They're planting seeds which will make people absolutely miserable when they get older. The proof of that is the people screaming how great it is are all absolutely miserable. They're all absolutely miserable, and they're all part of an insipid cult of non-thinking and intolerance, right? They're all the things that are the absolute opposite of what Doctor Who should be espousing. It's very useful, and of course you can avoid soapboxing. Well, again, you could do if you write it with talent, which is what great writers do anyway. Yeah, Russell T Davies. I was in no Moffat. I was in no illusions, or even Malcolm Hughes. I was in no illusions about what their political worldview was, and I love their work. Right, I absolutely love their work. It's talent and work. That's what it is. If you want to make a point, make it gently, make it subtly. The mentioned Doctor Who is always positive. The message is always embrace every life form, every other life form, and don't judge. It's wonderful. Yes. So again, I just feel this current era Doctor Who so judgmental, so incredibly judgmental, so hateful and judgmental. What else we got here? Nearly done. Last page. I've never been an actor who gives notes to writers, so he's talking more about his respect for writers. Never. If there's a script I don't like, I just don't take part. Clever, man. Again, I do appreciate that. I was trained in the 70s and 80s by absorbing the very high standards of television writing in British television. 70s and 80s were I, Claudius, Singing Detective, so much great stuff. So much just breathtaking great stuff. So he's right, there is a very high standard in British life. Then I went to drama school, London School of Speech and Drama, and trained myself on Shakespeare, Ibsen, and Strindberg. Again, I have no doubts he's a hard worker, right? I have no doubts at all. A central thing in that is honouring the writer, protecting the writer, which what I find with writers is, unlike some directors, they have huge respect for the intelligence of the audience. They never write down, they never write up. I wonder if that was the seed of this falling out with, I think, Keith Boak, the director on the first unit for the first block. Actually, the director on the first block. He felt they weren't treating the audience with respect. I think that's something that Chris would not be happy about. I feel like within Big Finish there's a great deal of conversation. There's a central hub, the team, and they draw writers together. So there's a consistency in writing the Ninth Doctor. But there's also a great thing you get from episode to episode where he's stretched somewhat by an individual writer. So I guess we learn other people are going to be writing other than Nick Briggs. What's it? that shape-shifting element to his persona is lovely. The intriguing contradiction in his Doctor is also very direct, but he's also unfathomable. I think it's essential. The Doctor remains partly unknowable. Yeah, Doctor Who. What was that cliffhanger with the blue guy, his head in the box? Doctor Who. That first question, great. I like a lot of Moffat. Tell you, there was a lot of Moffat hate in the comments recently. I like Doctor Who. I tell you, I like Doctor Who. Partly unknowable, which facilitates the fact that he can change his physical appearance. So there's a familiarity with fans if he sounds like me, but he is an enigma, which I'm very keen to retain. Really, he's an enigma again. Current era, not so much. Remains, I would say, what's familiar is his lust for life, his insatiable curiosity, his energy, and his flirtatious nature. Yeah, you know, they did pull that out, especially with Jackie. He kind of liked it, right? He did. So yeah, listen, I'm just psyched. So that's the end of the first part of the interview. I guess we'll do the same thing next month, and we'll go over that. Blimey, 45-minute video, not messing around here. I guess we'll go over the second part next month. Really fascinating. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for next month when all this stuff drops. My name is Sheila Beck, and you are Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.